my 12.4 diet plan. So for this diet plan and this study, I created a diet plan for a female who was 21 years old for 14 days, with the 14th day being the competition day. And within those 14 days, this included a diet plan, so all the meals laid out for her, along with a brief idea of the type of exercise she'd be doing, so it was more structured for her. And it includes carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and the calories that I used. And this was for a female who is 21 years old. Her height is 155 centimeters. Her weight is 70, and her sport is short track speed skating. And the BMR I worked out using the Harris-Benedict equation, and it gave me a total of 1,513 calories. So that was the minimum amount of calories she needed to supply her body with in order to carry out functions such as heart contractions, muscle contractions, secretions, metabolism, things like that. And digestion, obviously. And so the METs are shown individually on slides ahead. They tell us how many extra calories that the athlete will need, and they use the equation METs times 3.5 times weight divided by 200 times by duration of exercise in minutes. And then throughout the program, as I said before, I did structure it so that I had to use obviously her exercise as well in there. And so exercise included different weight sessions to build muscle, and obviously to improve her aerobic capacity and burn fat. I used cardio, mainly plyometric, HIIT and LISS. So these are all the METs shown from day 1 to day 5. So for example, abs, it says 1,874.25, but that's wrong. So, and it's actually cardio needs 1,874.3 calories. So that's cardio. That's how many they need extra. And for abs, she needs 110.25 calories. Then these are just the METs for day 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 7's a rest day, so she just needs her BMR. Day 11 to 14 is on the slide shown. So for nutrition, for pre-workout, I didn't really have a secure strategy, but most of the time I made sure that the athlete consumed carbs before a training session, and this was to make sure that their energy levels, such as the glycogen, were fully restored, because obviously that would propel them through their workouts and make sure they were suitably energized. It wasn't really carb loading; it was more minimal carb loading. I'd guess, because I wasn't always using carbohydrates before her meals, but mostly it was. So things like for breakfast, sometimes I use avocado. That's obviously a healthy fat, so that's not a carbohydrate that I would use for her breakfast, but mainly it was things like porridge and oats, and potatoes. And also I didn't want my client to be full whilst working out, and because of the high intensity, I wouldn't want her to feel ill, and because that would have affected her performance. So even a snack like bananas or just a little multigrain granola bar wouldn't have digested in time, and it would have sat heavy on their stomach, so probably would have made them feel sluggish, and that therefore would have probably had the opposite effect of giving her energy. It probably would have not propelled her through her workouts. But post, I made sure that my client had mainly protein based and contained fibrous carbs, because it made sure that her meals were consumed. I also made sure that her meals were consumed within an hour after the workout, as it helped to prevent the body from using its own muscle for tissue energy, and helped to encourage the building of muscle and repairs of muscle tissue as well. So I used foods that contained fibrous carbs, so things like spinach, kale, broad beans, any green leafy vegetable is what I used. The same for hydration. As it's shown in my diet plan, in my spreadsheet, I use the same structure for every day that my client exercised. So for every day before my workout, I gave her exactly the same thing. I gave her a hypertonic drink, gave her Red Bull, and this was to make sure her carbohydrate stores were fully replenished to prepare her for a big, intense training session. Now I use Red Bull and it's a hypertonic drink, because I wasn't, like I said before, in the nutrition part, I wasn't always giving her carbohydrates before. So this just kind of added up and topped up and replenished her glycogen stores to make sure she was fully energized and focused for her training session to get the best out of it. During her training session, I gave her a hypertonic drink. So I gave her vitamin water because it was instead of water actually, as that this vitamin water had a small amount of carbohydrate in it, so it wasn't overloading her system and increasing her blood sugar level, so it wasn't making her feel shaky or anything. And water has no nutrients in it really. It's just 0 calories, so it would be a bit boring. That was one part of it. It would be literally flavourless, and also I didn't want my client to feel fatigued or unwell, so I wouldn't want her to feel dizzy at any point, because that would obviously affect her training. So giving her vitamin water keeps her, because it's got a little bit of sugar in it, kept her refreshed and helps keep the salt and sugar levels maintained more than water would do so. And post, I gave her an isotonic drink, so Lucozade Sport Orange mainly, as it matched the blood sugar glucose level of the client, but it did not contain so much sugar that would be stored as fat. She just burnt all that sugar off. I didn't want her to be overloaded with sugar again, because she just burnt it off in a training session, so I didn't want her to feel she'd be storing that as fat, which obviously her weight is just goal maintain. Her goal is just to weight maintain. She doesn't really need to be dropping any weight or increasing it by storing it as fat. So for day one, I consisted of 30 minutes of abs in the morning, and later on in the afternoon a 3-hour cardio session using a slide board. And it took place because the slide board mimics the technical environment in speed skating, so it also supports the learning and also strengthens the muscles when used for repetitive posture and movement drills. As the ab session is early in the morning, I decided to give the athlete a breakfast consisting of mainly carbohydrates, so it was porridge with fresh fruit and honey, and that was to prepare them for not only the ab session but the cardio session later in the advance. The ab workout was short but high intensity, so giving them simple carbohydrates, which was the honey, will help to give quick boosts of energy to sustain the short workout, and it will also be burnt off quickly too. Using the fresh fruits such as raspberries means my client gets antioxidant in the morning to prevent any colds or illnesses lying around before performance day, and they're also rich in vitamin C, vitamins such as vitamin C, which will help the body form and maintain connective tissue, bones and blood, which are all used during exercise. Shortly after the ab workout, the client can have an orange, as this is not only refreshing and leaves them feeling less thirsty, so it's kind of a 2-in-1, but it also is rich in choline, which helps with sleep, muscle movement and memory. So after the hard training session at night, it would help her recover a bit more. Protein is given after exercise as a turkey sandwich, which contains salad to help replenish the muscles and the muscle fibers, and also plays a role in strengthening the immune system. So that's important because obviously you don't want her getting sick before a big competition. So strengthening the immune system will help to prevent any bugs or damage that she could get to her body. Shortly before the cardio session, I gave my client pistachio nuts because they contain extra protein, but also healthy fats, which are an alternate source to fuel the body than carbohydrates. They contain minerals such as calcium, which is used to build strong bones, and magnesium is used in recovery in muscle and nerve function. They also reduce the amount of bad cholesterol in the body and replace it with good cholesterol. So after the cardio session, I have given the client a steak to keep the nerve and blood cells healthy, and a portion of protein which will aid to recovery. Fibrous carbs such as broad beans to help the immune system and help with digestion we use. Sweet potato fries because they contain less starch and will not bloat the athlete as much, meaning the athlete will feel less full the next day and can continue her workout as normal. I used coleslaw to make the whole dish less dry, and later in the evening I gave the client Skittles to give a quick sugar boost and to boost the calorie value to maintain energy levels. For day 2, it consists of a weight session targeting the legs and bum, as it is important that speed skating to have a stronger lower body, as this is what used to create power and to decrease time in a competition. Along with this, the client also uses plyometrics and a balance board session for 2 hours. Balance board will help to target the core and keep it strong, and plyometrics stimulate different muscle groups at a time and will help to improve athletic performance. They also helped with improving strength and endurance. As at day 1, I started my client with porridge and fresh fruit with honey for breakfast again to prepare her for the workout and to fill her muscles. Instead, I used blueberries because this helps to maintain blood pressure and will keep the athlete fuller for longer. After the workout, for lunch, the option was tuna pasta salad with sweet corn, and it is quick and easy to prevent the athlete from being over hungry. And the tuna contains high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, which helps to reduce the cholesterol in the arteries and blood vessels. It is also packed with proteins, and tuna contains B complex and vitamins, which ensures that you are energetic, active, and healthy. I also gave her coconut because it's said to provide a natural source of quick energy, enhances physical activity and athletic performance, so helping to prepare the athlete for competition day. For dinner, I used chili mince with brown rice and cheese, and also kidney beans, and these beans are rich in fibre, so she'll feel full and her blood sugar levels won't rise, and the fibre will help digestion. Day 3. So day 3 consists of circuit training, which is high intensity, so you'll not only burn fat but also improve the aerobic system slightly as well. Later on in the afternoon, a weight session targeting the arms. The arms are important in providing power and therefore speed. Our arms don't really help to propel us forward, but a strong arm swing will help generate maximum power to the legs. Training upper body includes the back, arms, chest, etc., as the back needs to be strong, importantly, to stabilize the spine, and this will help the core to be strong. So for day 3, as you can see on my slideshow, I use cinnamon again, cinnamon porridge this time, because cinnamon is a good antioxidant. And obviously porridge is full of carbohydrates again because they are going to have a circuit training which is high intensity. And I use raspberries because it is an antioxidant again, and almonds and sunflower seeds because these are rich in vitamins and minerals, particularly phosphorus and magnesium, which help with muscle cramp. So for lunch, I gave her spicy chicken because she just had a circuit training. Chicken would be protein. Protein would equal, like I said before, equals and helps building muscle. And also a wholemeal wrap instead of a white wrap because it is less starchy. Contains it will bloat her less, so she feels more lighter. Then also I use tagliatelle for dinner because it's pasta, and chorizo with bacon and pork because again that is protein, like I said before, for the same reasons to build muscle. And in the evening, I decided to give my client a protein source. In this one, I've given her chicken pieces with coconut water because coconut water is better for you because it contains loads of vitamins and minerals. And the chicken is just extra protein because I feel she's had quite a lot of carbohydrates during the day. She needs some extra protein to build some extra muscle and will generally just help her recovery overnight and help her sleep better. Day 4 includes a weight session targeting the back and ends the day with LISS cardio. As I said in previous slides, the back helps stabilize and create a good posture. So this is important for it to be strong because when starting you need to be able to transfer power between different parts of the body. The LISS cardio helps improve anaerobic capacity of the body and is useful for the speed skater because they are doing a high intensity activity for a short period of time and need to be able to boost oxygen quickly. So LISS will help the athletes continue to race for prolonged periods of time. So again, I use banana and wholemeal bread with peanut butter and chia seeds because it just adds a bit of texture for breakfast. The chicken, bacon, avocado salad, she just had a training session, and I provided the protein with the chicken and bacon and the extra fats, healthy fats with cheddar cheese, tomato in a Caesar dressing just to make it less dry. The dressings also have quite a lot of minerals in, so things like calcium. So there was the cheese, which have calcium, which is important for maintaining healthy bones. And it's also the salad's quite light. So before she next had a cardio session later in the afternoon. She didn't want to be feeling too full and sick, so that's why I gave them that. and again, chicken for dinner.